Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, I'm recording this at 6:48 Pacific time on April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day. Interestingly, in watching my TikToks and YouTube videos, I think I only saw one or two April Fool's videos. Maybe three. It just doesn't feel right this year. Doing April Fool's jokes now just feels like outright gaslighting. Or more to the point, we're getting so used to being lied to and gaslit that April Fool's doesn't seem like it's very funny anymore. So yet another thing that Donald Trump has destroyed in this country. Not that April Fool's was ever that awesome, but it's definitely not awesome now. In looking at the election results in Wisconsin, with about 40% of the vote in, it does appear that Ms. Crawford is on her way to being elected with a similar, she has like 57% of the vote. They have a measure 1, which is going to require photo ID to vote, and the legislature gets to determine what that ID is. That had 60% of the vote, and it's considered 1. So she's very close to winning, clinching that seat, basically. So my reading last night of gloom and doom may not be coming to pass. So we will knock on wood with that one. Both Florida seats went to Republicans. It wasn't that close. Now, those are also apparently really red districts, so there was some hope that the Democrats might actually squeak out a victory, but they were getting beat by 10 to 20 points in those districts. The headlines I read were saying that it was the Republican candidates there won by less of a percentage than Trump won. They still won. So nothing really changes in the House. After this video, I'm doing a life after NDE video, and that'll probably be coming up. I don't know what her turnaround time is, but that'll be recording that this evening, and that'll be coming up soon. You may have seen like Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot, Dr. Lena Rodriguez have also done videos with the same creator. So, hey, they're asking me. I'm in good company. Even Susan Lynn was on there. I'm in really good company. Wonder why she's going to interview me. Well, you got to have one idiot out of the lot. Okay, 3 minutes in, enough rambling and musing. I was reading about talking about Elon Musk and his checks and how can that be legal. And CNN had like an analysis article on that. And the basic gist is it's not illegal because it's not a lottery and it's not a random giveaway. He's giving it away to what they're referring to as spokesmen. Sign this petition and you'll be eligible to win $1 million or something stupid like that. And that's probably not legal. But the actual oversized $1 million checks, they're giving it to people that already work in there. Like the 17 checks that Elon gave out or something like that during the presidential thing. Those were all people already known to Elon and the Republican Party. Those are insiders. So the money didn't go anywhere. It's not like, some mechanic from the top right corner of Wisconsin suddenly got $1 million check, for signing a petition. That wasn't going to happen. Why would they give money to peasants? But the article went on to say about that even if, the petition was illegal, who's going to challenge it? And how do you challenge it? And how long would it take to challenge it? And would you even get the decision that you want on it? Which then led into a conversation about Citizens United, which is going to be the topic of the reading tonight. Back in 2010, the Supreme Court passed or approved a case or ruled in a case in favor of Citizens United, which basically opened the floodgates of money to come into candidates through the form of PACs and super PACs. Individual voters can only donate X amount of dollars, but these super PACs could donate as much as they want, and Elon Musk, pushed it to 11 on this last election with $250 million being donated. So I want to look at this court decision and look at its future. Okay, I don't really know what I want to read on, and this is about the best I could cobble up. I figure I'll get 4,000 views total because I don't think anybody here really cares. But other than breathing a sigh of relief that Wisconsin probably going to get a liberal Supreme Court justice, Elon didn't triumph there, and at least for the next few years, Wisconsin should be okay from a legal point of view. So come on down. Let's look at Citizens United and see what's going on with this. This will be for entertainment purposes only. What's the deal with Citizens United? It's corrupt. It's money being the root of all problems, and this is the root of all money in politics type thing. It was a corrupt decision done in the first place. This, I think this is probably helped by being passed by bought and paid for Supreme Court justices. And there's your Supreme Court. It's kind of the keystone moment of the corruption on the Supreme Court. And the smug merchant, as it were, it benefits extremely wealthy people. And underneath it all is the Queen of Swords. They have no problem taking advantage of a corrupt Supreme Court ruling. It's legal. We're using it. In the past Knight of Wands, this is something that was building up with the American oligarchs. It's not just the GOP, mind you. It's the American oligarchs, and the GOP has catered towards the American oligarchs much more than the Democrats have. That doesn't mean the Democrats haven't. Let's be really clear here. They have too. But the Republicans have been even more for sale. It's on brand for them. Current situation with Citizens United is the emperor. It's put us in the situation now where apparently we have kings and oligarchs running this country. Between Citizens United, I'm sure Citizens United helped with the MAGA movement, but between Citizens United, the Fairness Doctrine about presenting both sides on broadcasts, to gerrymandering and voter suppression, it's led to the rise of MAGA, and it's leading to the demise of this country. Lesson we learn is the Two of Wands. I was going to say it's looking at the future and seeing how these actions impacted the United States in the future, but there were some caveats in this article. Let's see if I can find them real quick here. And is this new reality with the Supreme Court envision happening? And this one expert saying there were two conditions that the court said would rein in or limit the risk of corruption. The spending by corporations, the money that the super PACs raise and spend, would be independent of candidates in the political parties because it would be independent. There's no risk of corruption. Where's my corruption card? It's all about corruption. And that was fundamental to the court's logic. The logic was screwy. And the other condition was transparency. The spending by these groups would be openly disclosed. The justices really went out of their way to point out how that would be a huge limitation to any type of corruption. But it hasn't been disclosed at all. And neither of those conditions has ever been true. And what Elon Musk did was the pinnacle achievement in the terms of one billionaire or one mega donor having an outsized effect on how the law has not been enforced. So, yeah. What the Supreme Court justices, and this is also a card I used for that, said was not true. They knew it wasn't going to be true, but it made it sound really good. And the outcome is the Six of Swords. And now it's just having to endure it. It's, this is normally going out of troubled waters to calmer shores, but it's taking away the voice of the people. Because again, somebody like an Elon Musk gets an outsized vote relative to the peasants in this country, as evidenced by ridiculously sized $1 million checks that he's handing out to lackeys in campaigns of friends and stuff like that. You know, Elon can hand out those checks and it could be to his kids. It means nothing. It's basically, it's all for show. He may not even pay those folks any dough. He might say he's doing it, but there's no guarantee that that money ever goes through there. It could just be totally a publicity stunt. What is it going to take? What type of energy is needed to get the Supreme Court to consider overturning Citizens United? I was about to say Roe v. Wade. Citizens United. Little four-quarter. You need a new Supreme Court. That's what it's going to take. You need new justices on there. 3 new justices on there. Women. Yeah. Basically, it looks like 3 justices need to leave, and preferably none of the female justices. So you get to keep Amy Coney Barrett, but you also get the 3 liberal justices. So that's 4 of the 9. That leaves 5 left. You need 3 of those to go. So, Amy Coney Barrett, for all the fears we've had, and she may still prove to be absolutely horrific, she at least can present a reasoned argument on certain things. Now, does that mean I trust her as far as I throw her? No. But if you can get rid of 3, Thomas, Alito, and Gorsuch, and replace them with liberal justices, now you've got 6 liberal justices and 3 on the more conservative side, and you might actually be able to get more than a 6-3 vote. It might be a 7-2 or 8-1, or maybe you run the whole 9 votes. But that's what it needs to happen. There needs to be, underneath it all, there needs to be a detoxification. So you have to get rid of the most toxic Supreme Court justices on there and get rid of them. The ones that are bought and paid for. Vergonia. Okay. What's going to be next for Citizens United? How is that impacting us next? We got elections in 2026, so that's the next big moment with it. I'm going to do this one and call it a night. Go on down. What's next for it? Page of Wands. We need the messaging. I think this is getting the new Supreme Court justices in. It's going to be a while. Talking about it, it's going to be a while before it goes away. But the new justices coming in understand that you have to get rid of some other justices in order to get that path forward. The Star card, making the argument how damaging it is to the United States and the sovereignty of our elections, and bringing our elected officials in there. There will be a push to get rid of it. It'll be bipartisan. It involves the Supreme Court, obviously. It's basically, we put this into play. It didn't work. Look at the results. You guys promised this. You said it was going to be transparent and it wasn't going to impact the elections, and it's been the exact opposite. And it proves that it didn't work. Again, and they'll talk about conservative 3 people leaving. It was a failed experiment. Again, you're going to need there has to be changes to the Supreme Court. This current made-up Supreme Court will not overturn this this decision of theirs. They are quite comfortable with it. They're quite happy with it. And by they, I mean the conservative justices that make up the balance of the Supreme Court. So it's with us for a while. We're just going to have to vote and try and, we have to do our duty and vote. That's all we can do. And hope that's enough. And I said the word hope. And sometimes it just doesn't feel like that's a strong enough word for what we need right now. But that's right now. We'll see what happens in the future. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.